Hey, good evening, everybody. All right, I am Dr. Nasuya, or Anasu, or Dr. A. Uh, this is the second session, the second promise session I did, which is talk about basically the event which happened, which I was involved in a couple of weeks ago, which is attempt on the roof, and what I learned from the attempt. Now, this I'm not actually going to talk about the individual of like why they did it or what was their reason. The purpose for making this video is to talk about, as a therapist, what it was like to go on the roof. Now, I'm big size, like I'm not small. I'm fat. Okay, that's the actual word for it. I don't mind it that much. As long as you don't call me that, I can call me that. All right. Anyway, so what happened was that individual who was a worker in a nearby area went on the roof, and this is kind of where that person went. That's a picture from social media that was taken by some unknown person on social media, so I don't want to flash it for too long. And basically what happened was, if you see where there was that little sign here, that's that person on the roof. All right, so I got a call saying that someone's on the roof, can you come? And you know I'm like, the person's on the roof right now, and yeah, so ran up there, went to talk to her. So we were at the railing area initially. I didn't go out on the roof immediately. Saw the person there. There was such a distance between. There's a distance between that individual and there's a distance between that individual and the railing where we were standing. And at where we were standing, what we needed to do was get her attention, keep her calm. What happened was one individual did try to go forward a bit, and the person initially, when I got to the roof, she was actually just standing both feet on the roof. But when somebody went a little bit near, she went and sat, and then she put her 2 feet off the roof, and we were like, step back, give her that space. Now that's a mistake. Whether you're trained or you're not trained, without the security guards there, not without the security guards, but without the firemen there, it is my personal opinion that you don't take that responsibility for that person's life if you're not trained 100% to go on the roof, because the intention of going on the roof with her is to grab and catch. And the person standing on the roof also knows that. They're giving us a chance, but they don't trust you well enough yet to allow you to grab. And there are conditions which allowed you to grab, and we got those conditions, but it took us a long while. It wasn't immediately. So we got the person to step back, and then people were trying to talk to her, and there's a difference between talking and shouting, or even when it's so far away. So people were talking in loud, but they were not talking. They were shouting, and they were screeching, and that does not garner trust. If somebody is in a high stress position or high stress situation, go low. Lower your voice. The voice I was using just now to talk about that event is not the voice that you the voice you use during a crisis. You use this voice. Even if you have to talk loudly, you still use this lower tone of voice. The reason is that the lower tone of voice helps calm people down. The higher pitch, big pitch, is more exciting, gets people more excited, and that's not what you want at that point in time. And I'm totally going to tell you, my first thought when I saw the person on the roof and people like, go close, I'm like, you don't need another elephant on the roof. Elephant meaning me lah. The girl was, no, the person sitting there was really small. You don't need somebody like me. And the roof was not all solid. They were like glass parts of it, and I'm like, oh my god, you want me to go there? It's scary. And also, I didn't want to take that responsibility of, if I go there and she jumps and there's no bomber there, there's no fireman there, am I doing the right thing? Now, yes, I've been trained, but I've also been trained to know that you don't risk your own life. You take precautions, you use calmness, you don't put two people in danger. Yourself and that other person does not help. So you must see the situation. The situation is on the bloody roof. And also, you kind of need permission. What happened that was really interesting is that one as we were talking to her from the roof, and there was this one girl, when she asked some of us were trying, we were trying to say, talk about your family, talk about this. We're trying to connect. So when you're trying to connect, you're talking about anything to help them emotional connect with you. And a woman came out and she managed to connect through prayer, prayer, shared belief system. She used the prayer, and you could see the girl looking at her and connecting. That connection allowed her to be the first person to go on the roof a bit more safely. And when she went on the roof, the girl didn't react so aggressively. I think also because, the size, and she was a woman and she was praying. So it all came together. The girl didn't pray with her. The girl was not in a state of mind to actually pray with her, but she listened to the prayer, and you can see the connecting happening. I honestly, then another clinical psychologist, she went on the roof, and we waited. Then the bomber came. When the bomber came, the clinical psychologist took some water and went on the roof, and that was brilliant. What she did is she took water to take the basic need of somebody in that kind of situation. So look at, okay, you need water, come on, and that allows us again to go closer. So when the bomber came and the bomber said, okay, then I went on the roof. But I did go on the roof, and here you have Elephant on the roof, and this is Elephant me on the roof. I uncovered cases of everybody else involved because I don't think it's them. The person in the, it's me. And you notice how I'm sitting in this, and I'm sitting really close to the edge. I did not realize how close I was sitting at that time. That was rather dumb of me, but at that point in time, there was a reason why I was sitting there. Now, if you see the picture here, you see where the girl is looking and where the bomber is standing. Can you see where the firemen are standing over here and the girl sitting, and the helpers are sitting straight across. So that is that to a certain extent is not the best place for you to stand when you have the firemen there and the firemen are trying to save the situation. Okay, you see, when the role that you're playing when you're on this type of situation is to get the attention, talk to the person, put the firemen in a situation where they can make the grab. So that's why myself, and then there was another fireman on this side. We were trying to keep her attention on this side, and the girl who connected really well where she was sitting was really good. She was really, really good. But slightly a bit more training on the side of people who've gone for crisis training. So you can't blame somebody who doesn't know, and not many people know. But what you're trying to do is so where she was sitting, when she was talking to her, that girl could see the fireman through her periphery, the fireman standing with the harness through her periphery. And what that meant is anytime she got close, the fireman would tense up, looking for that moment to come in, and she could see that movement, and she would move closer to the edge. She would move like on the edge, and we would have to back off again. So that was something that can be improved. It wasn't a mistake. That lady, finally, she was the one who made the grab. She did an absolutely brilliant job. Okay, she finally made the grab. The girl was looking at me and talking to me. I can't remember about what at the moment, but we were talking about something, and they made the grab, and it happened so fast. The firemen were like brilliant. They got there like 2-3 seconds. The firemen, it was the actual save was like out of 3 seconds in a movie. It felt like it. Somebody grabbed, and it went. So some of the main issues here. Number one, when you're in a crisis situation and you're a helper, you are in a situation where you're getting the firemen, the police, the doctors, be in a way to support them. You are not the hero. They are the heroes. They are the ones who know what they're doing. You are there to support them. So basically, we were playing distraction. All right, the role that we were really playing is distraction. So we were just distracting her so that the actual heroes had a chance to move and grab. Okay, and be aware of where you are sitting and how you position yourself so that you can move fast and not get in the way. And if you can, put yourself in a position which is more strategic so that it would actually be more help to the individuals who are helping you, to the rescue workers, the rescuers. All right. So that is one of the biggest suggestions I will make. Second one is your tone of voice and how you approach. Your tone of voice needs to be calm. Now, this is more the tone of voice I use in therapy. This is more the tone of voice I use when I talk to people. However, in a crisis, this level of calm tone of voice, you need to throw your voice. You need to have the ability to project your voice. I can project. So I was able to project my voice at that time to get her to engage with me and talk to me. And yeah, I was one of the first people she was engaging with on the site. And what you need to understand is when they are engaging with you, you need to listen. You need to listen to what they say. You need to respond to what they say, and you need to maintain control of the situation. Like the individual may want to talk to partners, ex-partners, parents, family members, brothers, but you may not know what those partners are going to say. You don't simply take a phone and pass the phone to somebody in crisis, because the person on the other line may not, may be the source of the problem and may actually contribute to the problem. So be careful about passing things to somebody in the term of crisis when you don't know what that person is going to say. You don't know how they're going to respond to the situation. If they say like something like, "Don't be stupid, if you want to jump, just jump." Oh my God, you can just imagine what would happen. So please do be careful about that, because there are very human individuals out there who don't know what to say in a time of crisis, and they think that challenging people like that would help. It doesn't. It actually may cause people to jump. I think that has been proved a number of times from people challenging people online and people actually completing suicide. So what are some of the other warnings that I can give you, and things to look out for? Okay, that's two for things. Listen to the number one, beyond any other rule, your safety and the safety of other people first. Okay, you're the safety of the people around you, the safety of yourself. So personally, I won't take the risk without the bomber there to go in a situation where I could easily have fallen down. Okay, so those are some of the tips. Not sure whether they are like new or something you've never heard of before, but it was just some of the stuff that crossed my mind while we were doing it. And basically say what you need to say to get the person to engage with you, and go slow. Go really, really slow. The slower we went, the closer and closer we got till we could make the grab and then move fast. Okay, so now that's the professional part. Some of the sharing part. They're very fast, a little bit of my personal thing. I think, I'm joking about it on being big, but oh my God, I was terrified. Not at that point in time. When it was happening, I'm aware of, I don't really want to go on the roof because I feel it's dangerous, and I had to climb over this rail, which is like this high, and I'm just glad nobody had a video camera, because I was wearing a skirt, and climbing over those rails must have been, oh my God, I'm like, oh, no, it's like, and you had to do it twice, once to get there, and then once when we saved her to go back. I'm just glad, I'm just hoping nobody's got videos of that, all right? Anyway, so for me, honestly, the part where I'm engaging with her, talking to her, that's fine. I've done it before. Seeing the world, I'll probably do it again. And that's I've talked to people on roofs before, on the phone. I've talked to people in various situations of suicide. I've had good number of clients who've done it. I've taken people to the hospital while they're in the middle of an attempt. I've done those interesting things in my career, which has been quite long in Malaysia. But this was the first time I'm actually on the roof where you yourself, there's a potential for you to have an accident and fall. And so what happened was, because the roof was hot and I was sitting, if you saw how, I'm not going to show again, I'm not going to show the picture again because I don't think it's right, but if you saw how I was sitting on the roof, I'm sitting down and I'm wearing a skirt, so it was really hot. So I actually burnt part of my foot a little bit from the heat of the roof. And what I did is I took out my slippers, because I was wearing slippers. So I put my slippers down on the ground, and I was kind of using them as an excuse to move forward a little bit. Like I put the slipper down, move it further in front, push it further in front of my foot, and then move my body closer. So I was doing things like that just to get inch closer to her. Also to get off the heat of the roof. But I kept moving closer, and I had taken off the shoes, and I was barefoot. If any of y'all have been my student, I prefer being barefoot anyway, even on a hot roof. So what happened is, when we grabbed her and we made the grab, and she was safe. Okay, then I had to. Oh, I got my shoe. I've got to take my shoes because the roof is too hot to walk without your shoes. So I picked up my shoes, and at that point I looked down. And just for a second, I went, oh wow. And then because there were so many people around. There were the bomber there. He the bomber kind of like tapped my shoulder, like got my attention. I can't remember whether he tapped my shoulder, just got, or he called me, and I moved with the bomber. So I took my shoes and I moved with the bomber. But that image of that side of the roof was in my mind. So we went in, we talked to her, we got her safe. She's safe. She's back home in her home country where she came from. She's okay there, and we got she's got the help that she needs. Okay, so that's done. And we talked to her for some time. We didn't immediately let her go. We talked to her. She went to hospital for a while, and then she went back. Then she went and stayed with her her boss for a while, and then stayed with the boss for a while, and then she went back to her home country. So, but what I want to share is a personal thing. So now this is personal, and I was okay, talking about it, doing stuff, and then got into the car, drove, and stopped the car. Wow. I stopped the car because that moment when I looked down, the fear was like, I've been to the Grand Canyon. I stood, on CN Towers on the glass and jumped even. But there was nothing like standing on a roof where somebody intended to jump and then looking down and then you're going, how do people do this? I can't imagine the desperation and the fear that someone goes through to stand and then sit and put your legs across, which this girl did, or even jump from that position. Yeah, it takes a lot of bravery and a lot of desperation to do that. So I want to just share and say that I don't have that kind of bravery. I'm not a kind of person. I mean, I've been in situations where the thought of suicide is fleeting. But I suppose no. I mean, I choose not to indulge or go down that rabbit hole. But I've had family members who did, and that moment kind of reminded me of my family members. So I had to stop the car, called out to my sister and my cousin, just to share with them a bit. Then I drove back, had a long shower, went to sleep. It's not easy for those who attempted suicide, or those who are in that position. It takes a lot of courage. It's not an act of a coward. It's an act of someone who's really desperate. But I'm going to tell this for all those people who come with this myth of, if I commit suicide, I'll reduce the amount of pain in the world. Everybody who saw, who were there, who were standing there, was pained by this. Everybody had a sense of trauma from it. If you believe that killing yourself, and that is actually the correct word, killing yourself is going to reduce the pain in the world, you're wrong. It may stop your pain, yeah, fair enough. But it's not going to reduce the pain in the world. It's going to add to it. Because anybody affected by it, whether they know your name or they don't know your name, will be traumatized. Will feel the pain of that event, of that loss. So please, let us help. Allow us the opportunity to do something to help if you find yourself so desperate that you are on a ledge, figuratively or literally. In this time of social isolation, some of you are isolated with people who are potentially abusive. You're isolated with people who drive you nuts. Please be careful. Reach out via media, via internet. If you need to go to a safer space, find a safer space to go to. Please be safe. All right. My research on suicide is continuing. If I do interviews, I'm interviewing people who have attempted suicide and survived, and the attempt was more than 3 months ago. If you have attempted suicide, seriously, and you would like to be part of the research, then please do contact me before end of May 2020. That is the time I have to do this part of the research at least. We do have good numbers, but I'm always looking for more for the research until this period of qualitative research is over. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you will learn something. I'm not as brave as I think I am. It was scary to be on the roof. I was terrified. It was frightening. And it was humbling that we managed to save her as a group. And, final word, please, please, please pay attention to the firemen. They are trained. They really know what they're doing. They did such an amazing job, So seriously, firemen, doctors, nurses, the training that they go through, you gotta give them kudos and you gotta give them the respect. All right. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a good social isolation time. Bye.